Hey everyone, it's Midnight Spectre, and today I'm bringing you a story about a pretty terrifying experience I had while driving. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get on to the video. So, being a new driver is honestly kind of an all-around terrifying experience, depending on where you live or where you have to go. I had been taught to drive by my grandparents, so I was a pretty conservative driver, and I was always pretty careful. Actually, I'm sure a lot of people would be pretty upset with the way I drove. I know my mom hated driving with me, and she said I drove like an old person. Well, yeah, my grandparents taught me to drive, and I was driving my grandma's car, so of course I was going to be extra careful. I had a pretty good track record. I hadn't even hit a shopping cart when I had started driving. However, that being said, winter in the Midwest was always terrifying, no matter how good of a driver you are. You have people who drive like there's nothing wrong, even with the snow and ice on the road, and people slipping and fishtailing all the time. I had a little sedan that was rear-wheel drive, so it wasn't the best in the snow. So one night I was on my way home from my brother's house, and it was dark, and the way I went, there wasn't a good way to go by highway to get to home without having to take like 3 different highways. So I took the highway south, and I would drive on this lonely stretch of back road until it eventually meet up with the highway, and I would take that home. It was actually pretty clear because it had snowed maybe a couple days before, but most of the streets were clear. Well, I had gotten pretty confident, and I was driving pretty fast, and I was stuck behind a semi. And I was actually getting kind of annoyed because I wanted to get home faster because I wanted to sit down on my gaming rig and play some video games before going to bed for the night. There were some patches of snow and ice, but I figured I was going fast enough that I was just kind of skating over them. Well, how wrong I was. However, I was right behind the semi at this point, and I was about to pass them when they drove over a rather large snowdrift that had been packed down from traffic, and the only thing I remember was my car going completely sideways in the road, and I just closed my eyes thinking that I was going to end up in a ditch or something, and the next thing I would see would be the pearly gates. However, my car corrected itself, and I was facing the right way in the roadway. I guess my car gripped up, and I had reflexively countersteered to counter the spinning out. I ended up sitting there for a moment, like trying not to throw up because I was so shooken up. I ended up driving the rest of the way home way below the speed limit because I was so afraid. Of course, I never told my parents or grandparents about this because I didn't want to take away the car or say I was being irresponsible. So far that was the scariest thing that happened to me while driving. I'm glad that I'm alright to tell the tale from this, so feel free to let me know in the comments if you have a scary driving experience. Also, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. See ya!